all you Days fans, and welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Spotlight On. We here at Dishin Days love bringing you past cast members to chit-chat and catch up and find out what they've been doing in celebration of Days' 50th anniversary, and today is no exception. We have a very, very special guest, Mr. X. Will Horton. Chandler Massey is here.
Hey!
And of course, you guys already know me. I am Tony Moore, and I am joined by my chocolate twin here,
James Lott Jr.
And way over there,
white chocolate. White chocolate.
Oh, yeah, white chocolate.
Hey, that's right.
Mark J. Freeman.
All right, and we are going to get just right into it. Thank you guys for joining us live.
Yes.
You guys have been blowing up the chat rolls, so we are going to eventually get to your fan questions, and you will have a chance to call in and actually chit chat with us live. So first off, thank you, Chandler, for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
How have you been?
Thanks for the water.
Right, because it's hot. First, if you guys don't know, it is hot.
Oh,
it is 10,000 degrees in LA right now.
It's the kind of hot where you feel like you're wearing a blanket.
Yeah,
you walk
true. That's a great analogy.
It's like the devil sat on Earth and just said, "I'm going to just rest here for a while and have you guys melt."
I like that.
So
that's a great origin story for Los Angeles, actually.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I just thank God for Central Air.
Yes. We're glad you made it out.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, Chandler, ever since we've started our Dishin Days recap of Days of Our Lives, fans have been begging for us to have you on the show.
Yes.
So they are very, very thankful now. And I will have you know, when I was pestering Chandler with many text messages.
You can tell us, please. You can tell us.
He was like, I don't think they'll remember who I am. And I'm like,
three-time Emmy winner, Chandler Massey. Come on, please.
They give Emmy away in each category every year. So
They know who you are.
Right, yeah, they definitely know who you are.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your time on Days and remember some lovely moments and maybe some not so lovely moments.
Please tell us those, of course. We're all ears.
Yes.
So I always want to find out this. Did you ever audition for any other role besides Will? Because there have been a couple of people that we've had come in and they've auditioned for Days a few times before they finally landed whichever role they're in now. Did you ever go in before?
Actually, yes, I did.
You did?
But it was for Will, the time when Dylan got cast.
Okay.
And they were like, we messed up.
No, and they're like, I guess I bombed it, and they're like, you're never gonna be on the show. But I was living in Atlanta at the time.
Yeah.
So I taped myself for that, and then moved out here, and then auditioned again in person. But I had no idea what role I was auditioning for the second time.
No?
Or the first time, actually. I think they like to keep it under wraps, especially if it's a recast.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because they don't want,
Yeah.
Yeah, because fans are like Nancy Drew.
They will,
We
too.
will figure things out. Like, you can name it Brad, but we'll be like,
They're all, Brad is between 18 and 25 and blonde. And wait
sounds like a Sora of someone.
Exactly, totally.
So, stepping into, the character of Will, was there any nervousness for you? Because I think this was probably like your biggest thing, that you came into. Was it? How did you feel about that?
Well, I was extreme. I was so for the first 6 months, always, and the butterflies never completely went away.
Yeah.
But it was like debilitating nerves for the first 6 months, because it was the first thing. I'd done guest stars and I'd done community theater.
Yeah.
But this was, at the time, like by far the biggest thing I've ever done. So
yeah.
And who took you in? Who helped you out the first 6 months?
Well, Maria O'Brien was the acting coach, and she saved me. I mean, I would have been gone so fast, so fast. I remember the first day I had like 4 lines. and the choices I made were just so wrong. And like Maria was in my dressing room, and I could see in her eyes she was like trying so hard to be nice. By like how can I put this nicely? Because it's his first day.
Yeah, right.
She's like, well, that's why don't we just try it just for fun this way, like the way that people actually are and live. So she helped me out a lot, but everybody in the cast was great. Galen, I think.
Oh, okay.
He was the person I talked most to my first day on set. I remember that.
Okay.
And he was really nice. I remember being very intimidated because he was big
strapping guy.
Yes. Guy.
He's been around a while.
Yeah, but he made himself very approachable. It made it easier.
Now, what was it like working with like such a legendary family? Because you have Allison Sweeney, you have Deidre Hall, you have Brian Dattilo, people who had been, in these and originated these characters for years, and now here you are in their presence. Like, what was it like for you working with them?
Well, I honestly, I kind of felt like a fan because when I found out that I got the job, and then I found afterwards what the job was, what character it was, I went back and just watched. I went on YouTube and watched everything I could find. Went on like NBC.com, which had some episodes. And so I kind of became like a fan of the show before I got on the show. So. Everybody kind of felt like larger than life, and it was weird because I felt like I knew something about them, but they had but I didn't,
Right.
I'm like, remember when you? I even got confused. So,
how funny.
So I'll never like I completely understand because I was like I was definitely in the fandom, it was intimidating too, but it was really exciting.
Yeah,
I really loved your relationship with Marlena, which I should say. Your character's relationship. I just did it. Just did it.
Yeah, you want to make sure you differentiate.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We love seeing, because I'm close to my grandmother, and so it was really great to see that they really explored that. You guys had a friendship, kind of.
Yeah.
Can you expand more on that a little bit?
Yes. Well, another way, I'll give myself. I'll be generous and give myself. Generous to me, give myself 4% of the credit for like the substance of that pairing. And that's very generous. I'm rounding up a substantial amount. But she was so, She kind of has a way. I mean, she's so famous, and she's so big, and she's so synonymous with Days of Our Lives that it was scary. It's scary. And I heard, I think Brian would tell me these stories that weren't true, but I'm sure just scared the crap out of me. Like horror stories of that people mess up in a take with her. I'm like, oh god. But she was so, I know people say this a lot, but I don't have any relatives here, and I didn't the whole time on Days. And she kind of did. The lines were blurred too. I kind of felt like she, she was watching over me. As her character was watching over my character, and she was watching over me, and it was great. It was amazing.
Weren't there little things that you and Deidre did to kind of? I don't know where I heard this from or if I'm making this up, but
he makes up a lot.
But listen, I only make up storylines, and when I make up storylines, those are not making up storylines, but those are ideas for storylines.
Ideas, yes.
But I felt like there were little things that you and Deidre would do to kind of make that relationship
personalized,
real and personalized.
Yes, and that was her too. Those were
go out and drink together.
I'm sorry? Yeah. Get wasted. I actually saw...
ideas.
I actually saw The Artist with Deidre. The only time I was really able to hang out with her off of the set.
Yeah.
But yeah, she would actually come up to me before, takes, especially in her Marlena's apartment. And say, just find ways to connect physically, right? Because the way they block it, you don't always get a chance to. You kind of feel like talking, heads, bobbleheads sometimes. But she would find ways to connect physically, and I think that actually helped the scene because when you touch somebody, it kind of forces you to acknowledge their existence, and sometimes to really acknowledge it. And sometimes when you're in a scene and you don't get that, sometimes you're thinking about something else and you don't really get to connect with the other person on screen, and it shows.
Yeah.
But it's like a efficient way of like breaking down that barrier.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
That's amazing.
I just broke down.
Did you
Touch you.
Did you feel the connection there? Did you feel the connection?
I felt it.
How were there any family members back home that were fans of the show that were very happy that you were on the show?
Oh, not originally, but then they all became fans
Right.
Oh, did they?
Afterwards. Yeah, especially my grandmother Mimi.
Oh.
Hey, Mimi.
Yeah.
Now, didn't your younger brother play you?
Yes.
In 2013.
Yes. And that was I didn't have many ideas of my own, so that was my one idea.
How fun.
Because I read the script and it was like a flashback to when Will was much younger.
Yes.
And I went up and I asked, like, how is this, how's this going to be done? They're like, oh, we're just going to make sure you shave that day and like part your hair and I'm like, but that won't. 10 years. And so I thought, I have an idea. My brother is interested in acting, and I thought, what if I fly him out, and he can audition for you guys, and if you like him, then he can play young Will.
He looks like you.
Yeah, he does.
Right.
Well, now he's like a much better looking. I don't know if he's. Oh my gosh, just like that. And I don't even like him anymore. Because he's like
sorry,
6,
bro.
He's just past 6 foot.
Wow.
He's like
Oh, wow.
he's getting jacked. He's he's just like a junior in high school, but he's got this chiseled jaw and
Oh my God.
somehow he stole all the good genes.
He's like, we're done. We're done. I'm not helping you anymore. In the business.
Yeah.
Right.
And I tell him, I'm like, you are the surprise child. Okay, he's 8 years younger than me.
Oh.
Like I was so.
The
How
oops
dare
baby.
you?
The
How
oops
dare you
baby.
come up and surpass me? He was like the eldest, first begotten child.
When you went in the second time to audition for Will, was it approached then that they potentially were going to be going down the gate?
I was like, where's we going?
Oh no, actually,
That wasn't until later that they came up with that.
Yeah, it wasn't until later.
You're like, what did I get myself into?
He was supposed to be just like, kind of like a Chad type,
Yeah.
and then I guess something I was doing made him think like, this guy should be gay. Like, this would be great.
This is what you get for praying for acting work. This is your punishment.
Exactly. Yeah. So
how did they approach you, or how did you find out that the storyline was then going to have Will? And by the way, like, I've always felt like that storyline was done beautifully. Because
I agree.
It was because for Days to be such a conservative soap, they introduced this very slowly, and I felt like as an audience they were able to kind of go through that journey with you.
I agree.
So how did they approach you with it, and how was it brought about that your character was now gonna?
Well, I was called up to the principal's office.
There you go.
They had a picture of me and they said, just not this guy.
Yeah, they had a
Gay,
They had
not this
they
guy.
had a spectrum, and you were on the.
I was on the far end of the
spectrum. I get that on your picture.
I get that all.
It was like a big like meeting where like they had gay icons there, and they were like,
Not this.
All
Not
those
this,
are okay,
yeah.
but just not that one.
it's like, okay, so we're thinking you're going to be here.
Exactly. And they just straight up they sat me down and just told me we have this great story for Will. He's going to be coming out, and we don't want to let you know that's the direction we're going in.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, like sweet. Because at that time, I struggled at first because I was so excited to be on the show, but I was working like 1 or 2 days a week. I didn't really have a storyline for myself.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of Sammy's son.
Yeah.
And I saw, also like dollar signs flashing. you get paid by the episode, so screen time and money. so that was a very selfish part of it. But also, I just really was hungry for like some meat, like some substance, like a storyline with substance, and that was. Of course, I'm biased because I was allowed to be, one of the characters in the storyline. But in my opinion, that was like the most real and maybe the most significant story they've told in a long time.
I agree.
Since,
Completely.
Since Stefano was like fist fighting the devil back in the day.
Hey, we love that storyline.
I dug that. I was like, oh my! I couldn't see it, but I saw still images of it somehow online, and I'm like, what happened to this
It was
point?
an amazing time.
Yeah.
I hate that I missed that time. I really wish I could. No.
We used to run him after work, and we would watch it every day. Every day, that whole storyline. Oh yes,
Yeah.
and Marlena and Kristen.
I don't know if I was running, but
We loved it.
Skipping maybe.
those are my drinking.
You are gay. You're skipping.
So I don't remember a lot of it. Try better.
Oh boy. So was there ever a storyline that you really, really dug and really were just like, yeah, like this is really good?
You mean that I was involved in, or just like in general?
Let's do one you were involved in and one that maybe you wish you were involved in because it was that good.
Obviously, the Will coming out has to be number one. But I'll give my number two would be, I really liked the Gabby getting kidnapped. Storyline. It was right at the end, just because I got to have a fight scene.
Yeah.
I practiced. I was like, I have a friend who has a lot of experience in stage combat. So I was like working with him before that, working with the stunt guy. And then, of course, they preempted the show during that. So you see me like start to struggle with him, and then it cuts off to some breaking story, and then it comes back, and I'm shot, and I'm dead, and I'm unconscious. What happened? I was punching him and stuff. I was really cool. But yeah, that was fun. Disaster was also something that I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Casey. Oh my gosh, I was laughing at Casey. Casey's Chad was like down in like the tunnels beneath the Horton Town Square for that. And for some reason, I think he had like an audition after that day, after work that day, and he was like, he wanted to be. He kept getting like dust and stuff like in his hair and stuff. And he kept having to clean it up, and he was like so. I just had to laugh at him because he was like, this was the one day, the one day that I was like crawling around in tunnels and stuff. But watching that was really cool. So that's definitely one of them.
So what was it like working with Brian Dattilo? Because I hear he's a jokester, he's crazy talk, and in a fun way. So and he plays your dad.
It's funny because if they just captured his, if they didn't tell him that the cameras were rolling and just brought him out on set and kind of just like taped him, maybe even by himself, it would be like the funniest show ever. He's so hilarious. A lot of times I felt like at my expense, but
probably was.
Like the newbie hazing him.
Yes.
But yeah, he was so funny, and he was such a fun guy to have to be around. And every time he came on set, like in the makeup room, people were just kind of, the general atmosphere was just happier, lighter, and more jovial. Those people that just like whatever energy they bring, it kind of infects the energy of people.
Yes, I can. I can stand that.
I was gonna say me maybe, but I don't know.
Well, to his credit, I did point at Mark because Mark has like a ray of sunshine that bursts into.
It's a pink ray, but it's a ray.
But it bursts into rainbows and unicorns. Yeah. So and suddenly you believe, and suddenly you are just running through a lily.
Okay, now you're getting a little.
I'm trying to let people know
who's this
what
Casey
it's like.
you guys are talking about.
Oh,
Casey
Diedrich.
Who's he?
How dare you?
How dare you? He's the
How
old
dare
Chad.
you?
Oh yeah.
I don't know this. I don't know who this is.
How dare you?
We love Casey.
It's not ringing a bell for me. I don't know.
He's a nice guy. We liked him.
He's a delight. He's a delight. I actually met him a long time ago.
In Mark's eyes, there's only one Chad DeMera, and that is Billy Flynn.
That's fair. That's
Just
fair.
saying, I'm faithful.
So, how was it like him having your dynamic as father and son too? Now you have that off screen.
It was kind of like a little difficult for me to make the transition because he would be joking around, we'd be joking around, he'd be making me laugh up until the countdown for the tape, right?
Wow.
So which of course I wouldn't change because it was so fun. Right. But then a lot of our stuff was so serious.
It was
that it was kind of like
he went to jail for you. Hello, like come on.
Yeah.
Yes, I was kind of wary of him in tapes because when we're actually taping, because I'm kind of watching him out of the corner of my eye, thinking like. And he's very like put together. Like he'll turn it on.
Wow.
And I'm like, is he gonna is he gonna be, like show some Well, he didn't, but yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no, sorry. That was it. I was ray of sunshine.
I know. Until I become rude.
All the time. All the time.
Well, I'm sure you're not watching right now because you're not on. But we've been talking a lot about Brian because he's had a storyline where he's hooking up with
Adrian.
your
mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
Your mother-in-law.
That's it. That's it. I was going to go down. Yeah, mother-in-law. Adrian, they're hooking up now. Yeah.
What?
Having an
Oh.
affair. Yeah, I know.
Look at his face. It's so funny. Your face.
Wait, they're not blood related?
No, they're not.
No.
She's
Not that stops days of our lives.
Okay.
I
they're not.
really feel like Salem should like invest in Ancestry.com.
I
can help them with that.
And just have
I
it
can help them
posted
with
in
that.
Horton Town Square in case they want to hook up with someone. They go, okay, we're good. We're
Well, they
good.
need to run the DNA test now for all of them.
I do a segment on the show about the Who's Related. I
Okay.
talk about people who are related.
Yeah, it's kind of But one of the things I keep saying is, regardless of whether the fans are happy with them being together, because there's some divide unless they like them together or not. I kept saying I like them together only because it's giving Brian Dattilo more airtime,
Yes.
and I just
Yes.
always feel he kind of got pushed away,
he gets
and not
shafted.
anything to Allison Sweeney, Daquan.
Somebody reading on our chat.
Because I think because she was such a strong person and presence, he kind of got pushed back. And now that she's not on the show, he's getting more
Getting lots of
scenes,
work.
he's getting more
yes.
meaty stuff,
Yes.
for lack of a better word.
And he's so good. He's so good.
So that I've always really liked him from the beginning, and I always thought that I still think it should be him and Sammy. But that's me.
I don't know. I was for Sammy and EJ, but
Me too.
I mean,
I always thought Lucas should have just had a harem. He should have had brought back the polygamy and had a couple of.
I'm sure. Why not?
I mean, don't they do that kind of already? Except except they try to do it right. Like it's like we're married.
Make
Let's
it
get
official.
divorced. Yeah.
Let's have a couple wives. Yeah.
Well, pretty soon, you guys, we are going to be taking your questions live. Mark is monitoring the chat room, so if you have a question,
I'm mostly just talking to me. Sorry, Chandler.
write it in all caps, and we will be taking your questions via phone. So make sure you call us. Look in the chat for that number. And thank you guys. There are 127 people watching live.
Great. Thank you guys. That's great.
I'm just going to read this one out real loud, real quick. That Willa has been watching Days since November 1965. I was 11 years old back then.
Well, you go, girl.
Well, Willa, you are a trooper.
Yes, you are.
So
And she's older than me. Yes.
Well, she's older than me. Yes, I'm happy about that one. I've been watching since 1983.
Finally, somebody older than
Now, I just want to ask you, because one of the things that people like me like to know is, because I said earlier you're a 3-time Emmy winner.
Mm-hmm. Where are your Emmys?
Yeah, where you? I was supposed to ask him, where are your Emmys?
And if you need a place to store one, I have a mantle.
Where are they? Are they door stoppers? What's going on?
Gosh.
I love that you don't even know.
No,
Exactly.
I do, but I'm afraid.
Like,
I'm afraid to say it because I don't want it to sound. Okay, I'll just be honest.
Yes.
One is at home with my family.
Yes.
One is at Jeff Ballard's house, and one is I gave away. We had a Halloween party last year. And I had a little bit too much to drink.
Oh my God!
And I decided let's have a costume contest for best costume.
Yeah.
So everybody's lining up, and we have our panel of judges. And my friend Pat, who do you know Lost, the TV show Lost?
Yeah.
Well, he comes dressed up as depressed Jack Shepherd.
How funny.
Where he has the beard.
Yeah.
And he even has the plane ticket.
Oh, how funny.
And he's walking around, and he has the Band-Aid on his face. He's like, we have to go back. We have to go back. And I was like, this guy, he wins.
Right.
And so I gave it to him.
I think that's everything we used to have. But I'm like, why was I at that party? Great.
Yeah, I know.
Well, at least you're honest about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, what better, award to give away at a costume party
real Emmy.
than an Emmy?
And it's a
It was-
story you get to tell every time you go interviewed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's an amazing
Instead of
story.
saying, it's on my mantle.
It's in the bathroom,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
that's what. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you told us like, oh, there's one in the bathroom, and then there's one in the living room, and then I keep one in my room, then we would have looked at you like
boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like those stories better.
Me too.
so keep
That's
them.
interesting. Very interesting. Wow. And so, how did you feel winning the Emmys? I mean, always ask about like, how did you think you were going to win? No.
No. Well, no.
Of course not. Right. Of course not.
We knew.
We knew.
Because I didn't really know. I wasn't aware of like how of really the context. I was sort
Okay.
of aware. The story when it aired was in such like a amazing like time,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize the power of. I felt like I won those Emmys on the backs of what was going on in the country at the time, and just the power of the story, which was extremely well written.
Totally agree.
And I really think, just about anybody probably would have taken 3 in a row. Honestly, I gotta be honest.
Were you going to say even you? Is that what you were going to say?
Well, no, especially you. Especially you. But you know what? I'll tell you what. If I ever get. Okay, so next Halloween, or maybe before that, I'll try and get it back from Pat, and I'll bring it.
Sure,
Yeah.
totally.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
totally.
Hang on to it.
Yeah,
for
we would
indefinitely.
We would
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Yes,
Because we
We'll
we don't have the hourglass.
We don't do it for Spotlight on.
Oh.
Well-
I don't usually make the spotlight.
No, working gal.
Working lady. Working lady.
So the last Emmy that you won, there was a little snafu because
I was just going to say the same thing, yeah.
they showed the lovely wedding clip of
Guy.
Sonny and Will, but you were not a part of the
I
wedding.
know, like, what was
it was
that?
Guy. But then I remember that when they announced that you won, I don't know where you came from, but you were literally like a ninja.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden they were like, Chandler Massey. And I'm like, oh my God, is he even there? Because by this time you weren't on the show anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the camera pans and you come barely out of nowhere. And I'm just like, did he just get there? Was he like did he show up and just kind of wait in the wings like,
Just in
I
case.
don't want to,
Just in
I did win. And you just come like it was such a ninja-like moment that I was like, where did he come from? What happened? What was going on?
I was at a table. I was just. It was a table pretty much.
I was just going to say they said that it was really far away.
Right,
Yeah, just far away. I was like, oh, okay, I see how it is. But I'd actually never seen that clip before either. So I was like, I was confused at first, but then I was like, that's a nice clip.
Not me. I got a nice clip. And then you responded like, how about that reel?
Yeah, you did say that. You did say
Right?
that.
Yeah.
Veronica and several other people, not just her, will keep asking how is it working with Freddie,
Oh, it was amazing.
who's also from Ohio, FYI.
Yes, Ohio. That's right.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Freddie's great, and another reason why I gotta keep, because I don't want to be. I gotta keep giving, pouring some out for the homies.
Yeah.
But like credit where it's due.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
And Freddie's got this thing where he's just so real, and I've never seen him push ever, which is so great and it's so rare because he kind of just lives it. Like he lives the role. And it was just so much. It was so great to work with him. Is he still doing it?
This is his last week.
this week,
This
this week
week?
on the
I
show.
think so.
he leaves,
Yeah. I think Tuesday.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I saw
So
a
is-
preview of him packing up his stuff, and he's like, "I'm out of here," and I'm like, "Where you going?"
Total homo. Making a big deal.
Listen, it wouldn't be a gay scene if it wasn't dramatic.
Thank you.
I just hope that they have him like grabbing like a tiara and throwing it in the bag and then running.
And a sash,
And a sash. Yeah.
and a scepter.
Yeah. Well, that's my bag.
What did you learn playing about yourself playing a gay character? It's an important storyline.
I learned that man's lips not really that different than a woman's.
I'm gonna disagree.
That's so funny. It's like,
But
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you.
He's all coming close.
That was the soundtrack of my life. Yes.
but I guess I just learned, I grew to care about like marriage equality and equality for everybody, because before I was mostly ignorant. I was largely ignorant, and I didn't really know, and so I didn't really care. But then I got to learn so much playing this character that I was like, you know what? There's something that's something going on that needs to be addressed, and something that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So it made me like, it changed me that way. I think it made me a better person, honestly.
Great. That's great.
Yeah. Do we have any questions from the chat?
Catch me off guard.
And we're gonna also take your questions live. So make sure you look in the chat roll and look for that number, because
search history.
Any minute we will be taking that live.
We give it to you. Come on.
This is from Yoli Munoz. There's her big hug.
Oh.
Okay.
Thank you.
A question for Chandler. What was your favorite scene with Allison Sweeney? From Daquan.
Oh, Daquan. That's right.
You don't have to answer it. Daquan and I have issues.
They do.
They do.
So
They have a love-hate relationship.
Yes, exactly.
Don't feel like you have to answer his question. If I would have seen it was his, I probably wouldn't have asked it.
There's so many. I would say, like the first scene, the first scene I got to yell at her.
Oh,
the
so,
first scene I
yeah.
ever got to like tear into her for having, I guess, EJ around in the apartment. Was fun, because before I felt like I was being. Will was always being lectured and like, do this and do that, and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it, because I'm a good guy. And then this time he's like,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did have the evolution, because you did kind of start talking to her in certain ways.
Yeah.
Because, she did have you young. I mean, you guys
Right.
were close in age, so to speak. You know?
Yeah. So the evolution of becoming the worst son ever was fun. Yeah.
So Susie's asking, and I don't know why you would want to come back as a different character, but would you consider returning to Days as a different character?
I think I make a great Stefano. So if whoever wants to step down, I'll step.
Okay, so
It's like Batman.
Okay.
You know how they have like the Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Show where he's like a little kid.
Yeah.
You got a story written?
He could be young Stefano.
yes, we'll see. He could be like a new age Stefano, and it can come in with #Maxine Son.
There you go. Like him.
He wants to play Mac. Do you
Yeah.
Maxine?
Yeah. You see it, right?
You see it.
So this is perfect, because what we can do is I can come into town searching for, like, my family, my mother.
Yes.
And you can come in with me as well, and we're both interns at the hospital, and we can be great friends, but then we're gonna like separate, and you're gonna go evil and I'm gonna go good, and then we're always gonna be like bumping heads.
Button heads, but we still have
The connection.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I love it.
Another thing. Ooh, it'd be fun if I came back as Bill. Bill is openly gay, but he's actually secretly straight.
Oh my God!
Exact opposite.
That's hilarious.
That's
And
a good
then
one.
Bill and Will merge into one person at the end, and then I don't know, who knows.
That could happen, because you remember when Sammy was Stan?
Yes, so she was Stan. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes, you know what? I was actually friends with that guy before I even knew he was.
His name was Dan something. I forgot his name.
Dan Wells.
Dan Wells.
He actually owns a CrossFit gym.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And he's a great guy. And as I was working out, and we talk every now and then, and I had no idea he played my mom.
He plays your mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
So after that, I was like, "Hey, mom." Whenever I'd go in, it was.
This actually is a really good question. I just want to ask, because I don't remember this, but I think it's a really funny question. Woodward wants to know, when Will pulled Sonny's apron off at the coffee house and asked him to come back with him for some love, was the apron pull an ad lib?
Most definitely. I can't think. There were so many ad libs. Pretty
I
much.
don't remember that, but
Pretty much, the script looks like dialogue, just basically dialogue. So, I won't say any, but a large portion of the physical interactions like that are probably in the moment unscripted.
Now, what prompted you to decide to leave Days? Because we there were rumblings that you were leaving, and then all of a sudden, literally in the blink of an eye, like you were gone,
yeah.
and then Guy was there, and we were like, wait a minute.
That looked like him.
I learned a very valuable lesson that day, and that is don't tell. Okay, now
You want me to say it?
no, I'll phrase it as a positive.
Okay, yes.
Tell your employer that what you're planning to do at the end of the contract before you tell everybody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so after the Emmys,
Yes.
2012.
Yeah.
I got asked a question about what I was planning to do after my contract was up and I was going back to school, which was my plan.
Yeah.
But I just didn't think, and I really should have approached them first and said, I'm thinking about this, because I was just short-sighted. I wasn't seeing. Of course, they want to carry the character on and stuff, because he's a really important character.
Yeah.
And the stories around him are really important. So I feel like I blindsided them accidentally by doing that. And so I really didn't leave him with any choice, any other choice except to bring in somebody else. And that's just kind of the nature of it. It's like very sudden. Like I didn't find it, I didn't know until that day. Mm-hmm. But that's just kind of how they do things. I think they like to run a tight ship and keep information close to the vest.
Yeah.
Because it creates less distractions.
Yeah.
It allowed me to kind of work up until my last day without somebody over my shoulder waiting in the wings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because fans were confused
Yes,
as to what happened.
Seems sudden.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it was like, where is he? And ever since then, no offense to Guy Wilson, because Guy is great, but everyone loved your portrayal as Will. So, and they feel like there's no comparison.
I think you came across very authentic,
Yes.
which is rare a lot of times on a show.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we knew you were acting, but sometimes for me, it felt like
He was
you were
acting?
Kind of. That's your problem.
Doing something new every day.
I know. He was
Thank
acting.
you.
It was crazy talk.
Chimney.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, but I mean, I just felt like you were very natural in the role, and everybody you had chemistry with everybody you had on the show that you worked with.
Does everyone's asking here too? Tracy just asked, but a couple people also asked if you keep in contact with anybody from the show still.
Well, I still live with Casey in that big house.
Oh my God!
Who is this?
We love Casey, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Casey.
Yeah.
Casey DJ, if you would like to reprise your role on Ice
I don't think I'll ever get invited
as Detective
to,
Tommy,
Yes.
feel free to find Mark.
Yeah,
we
please.
will forward all addresses. and
He actually worked at the restaurant I used to work at. As soon as I left, he started. And so I met him a couple times just kind of in passing. And then he came on Days, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's that guy that used to works at Mark's. So,
so you're mad.
I had met him a
You're
lot.
mad at him.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Are you upset that he got to
can
work in
have-
Java Cafe and you did? Is that what it is?
I was actually very happy for him. I don't.
It's a good gig,
Just
yeah.
he just I don't know.
And
I've been distracted for the last 8 months.
well, clearly. Speaking of Casey, you guys have a band together.
Yes.
Is that still going on? Are you guys still making music together?
Yes, yeah, we are. It's always kind of been more like a labor of love, especially for Casey. Casey really knows and loves metal music. I had never really heard it, but before he introduced it to me,
Yeah.
and I was like, what is it? What is this? But it kind of grew on me, and it's more the other guys in the band are guys that Casey grew up with, and it's just like a fun thing that everybody does. Just in their free time. We got to make that awesome music video.
Yes.
That
for Angel, Steve's wife,
Yes.
which was really like hardcore. It was not. We had like two separate ideas for the video. One was kind of pitched by me, which wouldn't have fit because it was much like nicer and
God.
and kind of more like not feel good, but it just definitely wasn't like hard rock. But I'm glad they went that way. But yeah, it's cool. It's still
For the
ongoing.
fans out there, what is your role in the band?
I play the keys, and I help Mike with some editing and mixing when necessary. Not really. I had no idea what I'm doing. He's a genius. And then I sing.
Yeah. You sing. That's good.
Nikita Dion
Ooh.
asks, what was your favorite scene with Freddie?
Oh, favorite scene? this is gonna be weird. Probably. I mean, not weird, but maybe not what people guess. I don't know. It could be weird. Later to you guys. We'll see afterward. They'll be like, that was weird. That was weird.
They'll tell you. Don't worry.
It's nice to have this, isn't it?
The New Year's resolution scene, for some reason, sticks out in my mind where we're in bed and he has that 10.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I don't know why. Nothing incredibly significant happened. Nothing like plot-wise, really.
Right.
But I think that was just kind of characterized perfect microcosm of Sonny and Will's relationship. It was some like romance, some tenderness, some love, but also some kind of like almost like bro, like ragging on each other a little bit. And I like that scene a lot. Yeah.
I remember that scene because that's when he said he mentioned Will and for the first time, I was like, I need to find a 10 like that and put some stuff in there and see if it comes true. Like, hashtag Maxine's son.
Hey, I'll
win the lottery.
Which one would be if you could choose one?
If I could choose one,
or hashtag Maxine's son.
I will have to say hashtag Maxine's son.
Yeah.
I think Aloma White and I would have some great scenes together if I played her son.
I agree.
Yeah, I think we both are equally as sassy.
Oh yes.
And can you imagine if we were going back and forth?
Ooh, yeah.
Now, if she was like a real mom, I wouldn't be able to get half of the stuff out because most of my scenes would be on the ground.
Yes, knocked out.
Like, I just need you to remember who you're talking to.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Like, listen, you're not my. Sorry, Mom. Sorry. We're trying to get fans on the line. Steven, are the lines not working?
No, they're working. I've been waiting for you to give me the cue to answer.
Oh yeah, we're good. We can take some questions now before we wrap up. Thanks,
all
Steven.
Right.
Everyone, that's Steven, our lovely engineer who puts up with me.
Do I have time to ask a question?
Caller's on the line right now.
We have a caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On. You are on live with Mr. Chandler Massey. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Travis, and I'm calling from from Maine.
Hey,
Maine.
Travis, how are you from Maine? Do you have a question for Chandler?
Yeah, kind of question, comment.
Okay.
I just want to say, first off, thanks for getting me through. I was trying, so I'm excited. Chandler, it's been a crazy transition on having you on. I just want to let you know, I don't know if you understand the impact that you and your role had for so many of us. I've been out for 13 years myself. Watching Will, it's kind of like watching myself as a kid coming out and going through that whole time. I think it was beautifully played. The way the cast portrayed everything, it was just wonderful. Have you had any fans at Beta that tell you these things, and were you able to interact with fans? Well, I know you've interacted with them, but I'm sure, has anyone given you like a story that has stayed with you, maybe?
Yes, well, first of all, thank you so much, Travis. Travis, right?
Yeah.
I caught that right.
Yeah.
And I have, some of the most touching experiences I've had are like when I would read letters that people would send me, and I had no idea. Like I had no idea getting into it, the impact of the story. I didn't really know how pivotal of a role I would, like my character would be in it. But after meeting, people at fan events or just connecting with them on Facebook or reading their letters, I realized how big the thing that I was a part of, how important the story was, and it just made me feel so like lucky because I didn't engineer any of this. I just read the lines that they told me to read, and it was just such a blessing to find out that I maybe made a difference in somebody's life. Because that was something I didn't really think would happen going on to days. I couldn't have imagined.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Travis, for calling in, and please continue supporting us here at Dishin Days, and stay tuned because next we have Mr. Billy Flynn coming in to recap Dishin Days with us.
Very exciting.
Got another caller on the line.
I got it wrong.
Hello, caller. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Spotlight On. You are
Hi.
on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Joni. I'm calling from Pennsylvania.
Hello.
Hey.
You said Jenny? What's your name?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. What's your name again?
Joni from Pennsylvania.
Jenny.
Jenny?
Okay. Do you have a question
Joni.
for
Joni.
J-O-N-I-E.
Yeah,
Yep.
Joni.
I'm
Joni?
Joni.
Joni.
Okay.
Do you have a question for Chandler?
I do have a question for Chandler.
Okay.
My question is, a lot of the Days stars, current and former, have done a shoot with Brad Young from the Dream Loud campaign, and would he, being a musician, would he consider doing that?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the campaign, but sure. I mean, as long as I get to pod, long as I demand to be nude in all future.
Now,
So if that's
The fans will love that.
now, Chandler, be very
And I
careful
don't-
because once you
I
say
don't know if
something,
you
it has to
remember
come
me,
to
Chandler,
fruition.
but I did your Kickstart for the video, and we did the Chill Escape dance at Hugo's in front of the dumpsters.
oh my gosh.
Oh, Joni.
Oh, okay, Joni.
Joni.
Hello.
Now I know who it is.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. Hi. How's it going?
Good. How's it going with you?
Not too bad. You mean in front of Hugo's, right? Outside of Hugo's Tacos? I mean, not Hugo's Tacos.
Yeah,
Hugo's a restaurant? Shout out to Hugo's.
Yeah,
Give me free
we did the lunch there for your Kickstart.
Yes.
And-
How's it going?
Good. How's it going with you?
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad. You know, he's with us, so not bad at all.
I mean, he's at AfterBuzz. It doesn't get much
shoot
better.
with Brad Young.
I'm sorry?
He would do an amazing job with you.
Sure. Where is he in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
He is in Los Angeles.
I should connect you guys.
Yeah.
I think he's on he's on my Facebook. Or probably Joni knows more people than I do.
Joni, we're friends on Facebook, aren't we?
Yeah, we are friends on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah, so just
Yeah.
send me his contact information.
I will send you his contact information right away.
All right. Awesome.
Making things happen. I like it.
Well, thank you, Joni, for calling in, and I'm sure I will see you and talk to you soon.
And everybody's
Yes, you
very happy that you want to do it naked.
See, immediate
Be careful what you
reaction.
say on AfterBuzz.
Immediate reaction.
I didn't say it would be framed that way. You can speak here, but just know that.
Just know, it's implied nudity.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's implied.
We have time for one more caller in question. Do we have...
Caller on the line.
Perfect. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On with Chandler Massey. You are on live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Isabel. I'm calling from France.
This is Asa.
Oh my God!
How are you?
Yay!
You got through.
I'm fine, thanks. I got through, yes. Wow. I don't even know what I want to ask him now.
Well, we're happy to have a chance to chat with you too because I know that you have been a longtime supporter of us here at Dishin Days, and so we thank
Yes.
you very, 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 very much. What's your question, comment that you have for Chandler?
Well, I want to ask him, what's he doing now? How?
Oh,
Have you got anything planned?
what I'm-
Movies or anything?
All right. Well, now I'm homeless. Actually, I'm living.
Oh, Casey
I'm
kicked you
living
out?
right on Burbank. Yeah. No. Well, yeah. I guess.
Interesting how this
No,
unfolds.
Casey's actually homeless too.
Oh,
We share
okay.
like a.
Actually, my roommate's moving out.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys need
You know what? I'm on the phone, but I can't hear anything at all. I got my computer on as well. I can't hear anything.
turn on the
That's
computer.
okay.
Turn the-
I'll watch it
because you
later.
can watch it back later.
Yeah, turn your volume off.
Okay, you didn't miss any. I didn't say anything significant anyway. But right now I'm actually in school at UCLA. I got a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well, so what are you doing at school then?
Studying. I actually recently changed my major to economics, so hopefully
Okay.
I'll be able to ride the wave of the economy into fortune.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Very exciting.
but who knows? Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Okay, all right, thank you. Anyway.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you for calling and
Thank
watching.
you. And hang tight because we have Billy Flynn coming up next.
Hold tight.
All right. Okay, so we are starting to run out of time.
Yeah.
But Chandler, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us and going down memory lane with us.
Oh, thank you for bringing it. I'm actually gonna stay. I've decided I'm gonna stay for all the rest of the interviews you guys have today.
You are?
I'm just gonna stand. Well, I'm gonna like crouch. Right? I'm gonna be crouched under the desk. I'm just gonna pop up so that you can see.
Make a comment. Go back down.
Actually, that would be amazing. You can sit on the couch with us and you can like we will fill you in on all that is happening with Days.
I'd like to meet Billy actually.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah.
Well, Mark would like to meet Billy too, so you'll have to kind of wait in line for that.
You can't sit here anymore.
Okay. All right.
That's Billy's chair.
Before we head out, let's let everyone know where we can find everyone social media wise. Mark, where can they find you?
On Instagram. What is that?
It's our sign off music.
Oh, okay. Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNELOVE, and on Facebook / the Mark J. Freeman. And I'll say it for the next show.
James, where can they find you?
You can find me at Black Hope LA, and it's BLAKHOPELA on Twitter, and follow our Dishin Days page.
Yes.
On Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
And Chandler, where can they? Are you on social media at all?
I have a Twitter. I haven't used it in a while.
Okay, but, you're gonna have to start using it now because I'm sure a lot of people.
You've got a lot of messages from today.
Yeah. And you have an appearance coming up in Canada. In October.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm on it. I think it's October 24th.
Yeah, I've never been to Canada before.
To Canada,
Oh, wow, okay.
And it's through Stars Canada.
Yes.
So so if you guys would like a chance to meet Chandler Massey and Greg Bond, make sure you like our Facebook page and we'll post all the information there. And of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com. Thank you guys for tuning in and stick around. We have your full recap of Days of Our Lives coming up with Billy Flynn.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
I'm going to play some basketball.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.